Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us for another episode of the PHNX Suns Podcast, brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's #1 sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Lindsay Smith here with Espo, Gerald Bourget, and Saul Bookman.
Damn, how the hell we got thumbs down already?
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
Damn.
The Nuggets fans have entered the chat.
Man,
Wait, where do you see that?
right there in the top. There's a
Oh.
thumb up and a thumb down.
How sad.
I know.
Oh, well. How you guys doing? Did you have a nice little break? All-star weekend break, kind of?
I'd be better if we stopped
Damn.
getting thumbs down.
Come on, people.
Bastards.
What are we doing?
That's hilarious.
Shit.
I don't have any on my side. I got
I-
YouTube pulled up here and it only says up. Oh, I see.
I had a good weekend because there weren't any Suns in the All-Star game, so I could ignore it for the most part. So
Yeah, it was nice to kind of disconnect for a little bit before we get ready for the ramp up here in these last 22 games or so.
Dare you both disrespect Saban Lee like this?
Yeah.
Did you watch the Rising Stars game?
No. Not even a little bit. I did not care
unfortunate.
about the All-Star activities whatsoever. The only reason why I even tuned in a little bit was because I was high and I had nothing else to do. And Estella goes, we should watch the All-Star dunk contest. I said, for real? Okay. And we watched it. And it was the best part of the whole weekend.
It was. I mean, I know we didn't spend too much, we didn't watch it intently, but we all at least saw the highlights, right? And I think we can all kind of agree that the highlight of the weekend was the dunk contest and everything else was mid at best. So shout out to Mac McClung for rejuvenating the dunk contest, because I think a lot of people were in the camp of the dunk contest is dead.
well, let's be fair. One guy was really good in that dunk contest and had some highlight dunks. The rest of it was pretty dead. Like, Mac McClung did enough to get people interested in the winning dunks, but there weren't other moments that you went, wow, this is a real showdown here in the dunk contest, you know?
It's still got a foundational problem that as long as stars are not participating, the league's best in-game dunkers are not participating, it's capped at a certain level of excitement. And like Mac McClung did everything he could. That was really cool to watch. And he did have some really great dunks. But at the same time, like the rest of the dunk contest was kind of meh. There was that video of Jericho Sims doing his dunk where he pulled the paper out and you could see the sidelines and no one reacted to it. Like, you need to get bigger names in the dunk contest. You need to find ways to incentivize those guys to try and make it less gimmicky, because you can go online and look up guys with mixtapes of their dunks and they're more 99% of them are more creative than the stuff we see in the NBA dunk contest.
The problem the NBA has right now is that they have kind of an image problem with their stars. They either want to load manage, they don't want to play hard in the All-Star game, they don't want to participate in the events that the fans really want them to participate in. And I'll say it. To me, it started before LeBron, but LeBron was kind of like, to me, one of the bell cows of this whole movement of player empowerment to a point where it actually hurts the game. I'm all for player empowerment. Guys are forcing their way out of cities that they signed with and they want to be traded. I don't care about any of that. That's fine. But to watch the All-Star game now versus what it was, even 15 years ago, it's a travesty. And then to watch the dunk contest, like, there are guys, Zion Williamson, Ja Morant, who everybody would tune in to watch in a dunk contest. There's no doubt about that. But for whatever reason, they feel like they're above it and they don't want to do it. And if we're all sitting here talking about the All-Star game is for the fans, well, shit, that's for the fans too. I would love to see that. Like, I would love to see it. LeBron could have done that back in the day. That's why I think a lot of people hold Kobe and Michael at another level than LeBron, because they did things for the fans. They understood the importance of playing hard in the All-Star game for the fans. They participated in dunk contests, and MJ was part of 2 legendary ones against Dominique Wilkins. And that started his legend. And I think these guys just don't understand it's a spectacle, but it's also for the fans, right? Like, that's what we've been talking about. Why are we doing this if you're not going to be there for the fans? I hate it.
And I think it takes one big name again to throw down the challenge saying, I'm in. Are any of you guys man enough to do this? Any of you want to come out here and meet me? I mean, shit, even if LeBron did it in year 21, like I think that could set the tone and change things. But if we're going to get guys like this, I'd rather see a freaking mascot dunk contest or get some of these guys from mixtapes and do a dunk contest of the best non-professional dunkers. Because at this point, I'm uninterested in what I'm getting from these NBA guys.
Well, because it seems like every year you got to find that McClung, right? And you're not going to be able to find one of those every single year.
Oh, yes, you will.
No, if you don't go down like the mixtape kind of guys. Like you're going to find a cool NBA G League come up on a two-way sort of storyline every single year. You're not going to find that.
No.
Right. And it's not even just the All-Star Saturday, like the skills challenge makes no sense, serves no purpose. No one gets anything out of that. It's been that way for like 10 fucking years. It's dumb. Eliminate it. Like the 3-point contest was turning into the highlight. This year's was not that great. And the game itself is the biggest problem because as much as there's something to letting these guys cut loose and have fun and play with joy out there and not worry, like there's also the component of it's really not fun to watch a 3-point or dunk layup line. Like it's everything's uncontested. The score is like 180 to 179. Like, and the Elam ending hasn't saved it the last couple of years, even though it did the first year or two. There's just no reason to watch the first 3 quarters now because even the charity stuff is not like enough of a motivator. They've got to find a way to incentivize these guys to care because you hear, Ja Morant and Anthony Edwards getting interviewed on the bench and saying, yeah, no, we're never going to be in the dunk contest because there's no reason for them to do it. They're not going to suddenly start caring about something that since they've been watching has not been a good product. And it only serves to just embarrass them on social media if they miss dunks. So like they've got to find a way to turn that around because as of right now, like All-Star Weekend doesn't offer the fan really anything unless you're in attendance.
Well, even in attendance, I'd argue it doesn't offer that much. I used to think as a kid, I'd love to be at All-Star Weekend, right? I think this would be so cool. Mm-hmm. And then I got to go as an adult, and it's so awkward at the dunk contest. There's no energy. It's so choppy because it's all made for TV. Mm-hmm. So I think it's actually worse in person because there's not a lot of energy. You've got this weird amalgamation of really rich sponsors and people who bought tickets that wind up in the upper deck. It doesn't even have the flair in person.
I think if you're a child though going to an all-star game, it would still be fun because now you're seeing a bunch of big name guys that you might not have an opportunity to see on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So I think there is still something about going in person and all the sidebar events that come with All-Star. I think those add value as well. But obviously they're trying to figure out some things, right? Like we saw the draft, switch that up. That's become one of the best parts of All-Star Weekend now. What else can they do? Anybody got any ideas?
Even that was drawn out and it took too long. Like, I don't want to be sitting here for 5.5 hours watching this draft and then the game and then a pregame performance and then a halftime performance. And like, it took forever. I watched The Last of Us in between at the end of the first quarter, came back, the third quarter had just started. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? We don't need a 6-hour All-Star game. Like, it was too much.
Yeah. The NBA has not been able to figure this out for years now, and they've tried a couple other things, but ultimately, at the end of the day, the thing that can save it all are the players. Mm-hmm. They're the players themselves. There is no other way around. The dunk contest was dead. It was dying, and then it died, completely died. They tried to revamp it several times before, and then what happened? Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine jumped into the dunk contest, and they had one of the most incredible performances of all time, and it brought everybody back. And then they went through another malaise, and then Aaron Gordon came back again, tried it again, and still got screwed, and that hurt the game as well. And then another malaise, and now Mac McClung. Like, they go through these waves, and it's because the talented guys that can go out there and really put on a show are not willing to put on a show because they're just there just to, put on fucking glasses and hang out and be cool. Like, fuck being too cool for school. Get out there and perform. That's what everybody came to see you. That's the cool part. But you're sitting there on the sideline like an asshole. Fuck you.
Gerald, when you said
So you're so spicy about
I'm so pissed
All-Star.
off about it because they're ruining the game.
I mean, Gerald, when you said you watched The Last of Us between the the first and third quarter, I thought you just meant you rewatched the dunk contest. You know?
God. Yeah, I mean, it's basically the same thing, but I don't know. I don't know how you fix it. Espo, I'm sure you have a few ideas up your sleeve.
I do. I think this is a simple one, quite frankly,
Okay.
to fix at least the All-Star game itself. And I present to you Espo's NBA All-Star Jam, the way we're going to do this. And the whole thing is simple. And let's go through kind of the rules and the way I'd set this up here. And we have a graphic for that as well to kind of go down it. It's a 2-on-2 tournament, 12 teams. So 24 players, 12 teams, single elimination. You play it on a smaller full court. You got to have full court. Half court's not going to work here. But you do it like anybody remember the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the basketball court they played on, which really was like, I think, 13 feet long. It was ridiculous. But you do that 2 halves, $5 million prize for each player that wins, plus $5 million to their favorite charities. The players choose the guys that should be considered all-stars. The fans choose what the 2-man rosters should be. I think this fixes it because it gives you something different. It gives you basketball in a way that we don't usually see it, but showcases some of the talent. I think this brings back the interest in it and spices things up, at least for a short time. I think you're always going to get to the place that we're at with this, and there's a lot of band-aids that make it interesting for a short period of time. But unless the players fully buy in, like Saul was talking about, you're always going to wind up back in this place. So you almost have to reinvent every handful of years to just keep it interesting. But I think going this way, I mean, so many of us grew up on that game in a certain age bracket that it'd be fun to watch 2-on-2 with that, especially since the game is now dunking and three-point shooting. And then there's the whole, what are the 2 guys you want to see on the same team? How does that work? What matchups do you want to see? I think it adds a little intrigue.
So is the idea behind the players voting for who the All-Stars are to re-incentivize them to want to be part of this?
Yeah, I think it changes it up. It removes I can't believe X was voted in by the fans for this, but then you let the fans pick the pairings, which then keeps them interested and having a say in it. So it changes the dynamic of what's going on. One of the biggest things is the complaints about fan voting that you still hear too. I think this eliminates that, at least in the who makes the game portion of it.
I was just gonna say I love the format. I think I would honestly maybe flop. Like I think you would just decide the All-Stars instead of the fans getting. I think they have 50% of the vote, and then the other 50 is split between media and players.
Yeah.
I think I would do a third for fan, media, and players, and then I would let, I don't know, either the fans picking the duos would be cool, or doing something of a draft with the players could be cool too.
Or what if the players just pair themselves up?
Right.
Like something like that.
Would be
so
fun.
They create their own teams. I mean, they could create their own team names and go that way where there's a little fun in that too, and they enjoy it. So it gives them a little bit more interest and ownership in doing some of it too.
I like that idea. I have a slight little twist.
Ooh, okay.
I think they should listen. Okay. I grew up in an era where there was 3-on-3 basketball tournaments all over the city. Multiple times a year out here on these streets. I ran these streets, but it was fun, right? And I saw some incredible players. Now, I'm not saying that they're NBA worthy or anything like that, but there is something to be said about, players playing out on the streets, playing at Rucker Park. It's just a different kind of game. I say we have it like in golf, like the US Open, and we have national qualifiers. And then you find the best 2 players in the entire country. And when said 2 make it all the way to the championship, they got to face these 2 randos from off the street, because those guys will be playing for $5 million. And that's life-changing money. All of a sudden, the stakes go up way higher for those two. You think they're going to let LeBron have a breakaway? Hell no.
Well,
Let's
and
go.
is
I
LeBron
don't know
is
that's
LeBron
gonna
not going to
happen.
play hard because he doesn't want to get punked by two randos?
Boom.
There becomes pride.
I know,
in that.
I
He
disagree.
also he doesn't want to get hurt, and he doesn't want to be the dick who
Doesn't allow them to make
prevented
$5 million.
two Joe Schmoes from winning
Yeah.
$5
Hey,
million.
So they get
hey,
$1 million apiece
Would-
either way.
Would Michael Jordan give a shit?
No.
No, he would
No.
dominate the fuck out of those
that's
guys.
not the
I
question.
took that personally.
Hell yeah.
Lord, have
Hell
mercy.
yeah.
I
Let's
actually
go.
love that idea.
Hell
That's
yeah.
a great
Let's go.
ad.
The king and duck. Let's go.
As fun as it would be, I don't think any of them would ever agree to
Oh
that.
my God. We
No.
need some Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson out there. Let's go.
I mean, I'd love that.
It would be fun. I
how
don't know.
awesome would that be? Like, who the
Nowadays,
hell?
we're gonna get Jack Harlow and whoever the
Yeah, whoever the other guy is in
Right.
that
It'll
remake,
end up
yeah.
turning into a celebrity basketball game of some sorts, like they already have at All-Star Weekend.
The other thing is that somebody pointed out was like, change the location. Yeah. Yeah, you should change the location because nobody wants to go to fucking Utah. Nobody wants to go to Cleveland. Nobody wants to go to Indiana. I'm sorry, Indiana,
Yeah.
but no.
What if you played it on some of the classic street ball courts?
That
Like
would be dope
you
too.
play an All-Star game at Rucker Park.
Oh my God.
Like, I mean, I know the weather that's
Yeah.
problematic at that time of year, but think about that. I mean, that could be unbelievable. Something totally different that you could try out there. Now, I know the outdoor basketball game the Suns played at the tennis court in California, the tennis stadium, didn't work because it got too cold and it was windy and it screwed up a lot of the things. But still, the one time doing it at like a Rucker Park would be unbelievable.
Yeah, at least something there, right? Like I'm sure they have sort of an event there, but it'd be cool to bring out some of the actual All-Stars.
It's like baseball playing at the Field of Dreams field. I mean, it'd be a really cool thing to do.
Mhm.
Okay, speaking of All-Star, if the Suns created a City Edition jersey based on the 95-96 All-Star jerseys,
Mhm.
do you think this would be one of the best City Edition jerseys or not?
Absolutely.
Yes.
You can definitely
Yes.
revamp that in a modern way that still captures the nostalgia, and that would be a really cool jersey to have.
I've seen a lot of people on Suns Twitter ask for this, and I think the Suns should deliver.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's still one of the best All-Star jerseys that's out there. It's
Right.
that one and it's the Spurs.
Yeah.
And those are the top two.
And
And
those
I
were-
will not hear otherwise.
Those were back-to-back years, and then they abandoned it. It like went very. I think it went back to the Stars and the red, white, and blue after that again. Yeah, I think those are some of the most creative jerseys we've seen in those two All-Star games. I'd love to see a City Edition.
I want to ask Jock next time he comes in, if guys still feel like after you make your first All-Star game, like I would love to hear Devin talk about this. I know on paper and in public he would say, yeah, it's still an honor. But I wonder if they genuinely feel like, yeah, I'm an all-star, or if they just like, you know, after you make a couple, who cares?
I feel like after a couple, it gets to the point where it becomes an obligation. I would say at least the first 3 or 4 are probably still pretty exciting.
I feel like I think it's more the honor of being selected an all-star because guys know that when people look at their career resumes, they look at all-stars first for some stupid reason.
The same way they look at rings.
And I think there used to be something to the fact that like they would like to go to All-Star Weekend just to be part of the spectacle and the pageantry of it all. But now we've gone so far overboard. It's like, I kind of would rather just have a few extra days on vacation or to relax or to work out, whatever.
You know, I think that's one of the biggest changes that the NBA could make to incentivize guys to want to participate more is less media type things. Like as much as on the media side of things, I enjoy all of that. But there is something every single day, all day for each of these guys. Like I remember when we would go out there like with Book and stuff, and we only got to go to half of it because some of it was like private stuff that they had to do for their own partnerships and things. But like you're literally hopping around the city all day long,
Oh, yeah.
talking to people, kissing babies, taking pictures, all the things. And while yes, it is for the fans and there needs to be some of that, I think the extra stuff is getting a little bit too much
Oh,
at times. And then they're just like exhausted.
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember Book's first year. You get in town, it's photo shoots for two and a half hours at the team hotel. Then it's you go to, usually they go to the celebrity game, or he was playing in the Rising Stars. The next day he had a Nike obligation in the morning. Then they had practice. Like, it's just insanity.
And
what
then you
they
have
go
like a
through.
media circuit too, where for like an hour and a half, you literally jump from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next.
The charity stuff, and that's all great, but literally there is not a second in that weekend that is not booked by somebody.
Yeah. And then of course they're going to go party.
Oh, of course.
Because All-Star Weekend.
That's why they're there.
What comes with All-Star Weekend is some of the most epic parties
Right.
of them all. But
Except in Utah.
and they did actually still have some, so I wonder how they kind of like found a loophole there. If it was like in an event center, if they called it an event, is it separate then?
It was described as a BYOB kind of all-star weekend.
Well, did you see Shaq say he's never eaten so much room service as he did this weekend because there's so little to do?
Oh, man.
It's like, wow.
Utah took some heat this
As
weekend.
they
I've
should.
been saying this whole time, Utah is the shittiest city in the world, or state in the world. It is. It is. It's not because of the layout of Utah. It's gorgeous. I mean, you have the mountains. It's beautiful. But geez, these 8 o'clock bar cutoff times. What are we doing out here?
Yeah, if I'm going to ski, it's great. If I'm going to party, it sucks.
Even listen, even Jesus had wine. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, people.
He brought his own, though. He could turn the water
Yeah,
into
that's
it.
true.
Goodness gracious. Thankfully, we live in Arizona, and we've got places like the Four Peaks Pub down in Tempe where we can go hang out and have a good time a lot later into the evening. And if you guys want to check out Four Peaks Pub down in Tempe, we highly recommend it. However, though, little disclaimer, normally the last Wednesday of every month, we are out at Four Peaks and all of our shows are live for that day. But we're not going to be there tomorrow, okay? We're just not going to be there tomorrow, but we will be there the last Wednesday in March. So just wanted to put that out there because I know last week I told you to come hang out. Well, don't come anymore to hang out with us. Just go to hang out with Four Peaks and have some good food and some good beer. But on the bright side, even though we won't be there this week, they are having a really fun event there this week. The Beer Can Derby is on February 25th at Four Peaks, their pub down in Tempe. Kit pickups are open now, so if you want to show that you've got the fastest beer can in the valley, you can sign up at fourpeaks.com/events. It's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. If you end up going, I want to see what you made. Like, you have to put it in the Discord. You have to tweet us, whatever it is. I want to see it.
Do we need to get one of these kits and make one ourselves?
I kind of feel like we should.
I feel like maybe we do that on Thursday's show.
That could be kind of fun,
We
though.
show off what we made.
I'm really not mad
Holy
about it.
shit, some of these things, like, what the fuck?
They're super cool. So check it out if you want to take part in that.
Star Destroyer.
And also just a reminder, though, in order to drink Four Peaks beer, you do have to be 21 years or older. And we ask that you enjoy responsibly. Also, want to tell you guys about our friends over at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. They make sports so much more fun because you can put bets down on the app and then you can put side bets down with your friends like we have going on here with the PHNX Suns crew. Last I checked, I think Saul is still in
Oh, you know what it
first
is.
place. I'm in
You don't have to
second,
say I
Espo's
think.
in
Oh, you
third.
know.
But we still got some games left.
Sure do.
Espo, we got time.
Hey,
We got
so
time.
I did have a question.
Yes.
Are we taking this into the playoffs too?
It's a good question.
Why the hell not? Let's roll.
Because I don't like betting on my team.
Okay.
That's why.
So how about we do through the regular season, and then for the playoffs we take non-Suns bets.
Okay.
And we
Cool.
have a secondary playoff challenge.
Okay.
So we're betting against the Suns?
So a regular season
non-Suns
winner
games.
and then playoffs non-Suns games.
Oh, well, that's a lot. I don't know.
I'm in,
I'm going to
Saul,
have to
if
think
you're
about
in.
this. Emma's like, I don't know, y'all. Let's table it, but we'll revisit. I promise.
Sure we will.
If
That
you
was
guys want to
Lindsay's
check out the
delicate way of saying,
DraftKings
"Fuck
Sportsbook
no."
app, be sure to download it right now. Sign up with that code PHNX, and new customers can bet $5 on the NBA and get $200 in bonus bets instantly only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Again, with that code PHNX. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. All right, so trade deadline come and gone. A lot of the moves have already been made. Obviously, there's still a few that could potentially happen in the next week or two, but let's talk about the West because we had a lot of changes. And one of the biggest ones, of course, was for us in getting Kevin Durant. So I want to know what you guys think about the West. First and foremost, who's the biggest challenge? Like the team that you're most concerned about facing in the playoffs?
For me, it's still the Pelicans.
Okay.
I know there's Luka and Kyrie, whatever. I don't care about the dirty Mavs. But it's the Pelicans because I still feel like the Pelicans can match up with us man for man from top to bottom. Now, they're not as good as us, but they're grimy. They can make it physical. And if Brandon Ingram is having one of those nights, he can do quite a bit of damage. So for me, it's still the Pelicans. Although I feel just as good as I did last year against the Pelicans in that we would win that series.
Okay. So let's talk about the Pelicans a little bit. If the Suns and the Pelicans were to match up, and let's say the Pelicans are fully healthy, is physicality one of the biggest factors in that game that you think? Because that was one of the big things last year.
Yes.
I think it's that, and who the heck guards? If Zion is healthy, who on this roster guards Zion, right? Because KD to be on Ingram, that's a good matchup. But I just don't see, you can't move DA onto him, right? As he can't guard Zion because then you've got Valanciunas, who is a big that can dominate you. That problem scares me, and it's one they didn't have to worry about last playoffs.
Yeah, especially because they still have Valanciunas in that equation if they have a healthy Zion. There's no right answer. There's also no right answer for the Pelicans in terms of, okay, who are we putting Herb Jones on? Are we putting him on Book, or are we putting him on Kevin Durant? Because the other guy's probably going to go off. And we've seen DA feast on Valanciunas on the other end in the playoffs and in the regular season. He usually wins that matchup, even though there is something to be said for the physicality, for the offensive rebounding, those problem areas that have been a problem for the Suns for the last year or so. The Pelicans are kind of my like sneaky, I don't want to play them team, and they could be a first round opponent because of all the time that Zion's missed. They're currently the 7th seed right now, so they're in that play-in territory.
Of course they are.
But then again, they're only half a game behind the Mavs for the 6th seed. They're a game and a half behind the Suns for the 5 spot. So there's still a lot of time for this to play out. There's like 22 games left in the season. But my thing with the Pelicans is, will Zion be healthy in time, and will he stay healthy? Because we haven't seen him put together a full season in like 3 years. So I don't like that Pelicans matchup just because they match up really well with the Suns. But I do think that this new revamped team matches up a little bit better, especially if they're still missing Zion.
Oh yeah, if they hadn't gotten Kevin Durant at the deadline, that's a deadly matchup. That's they're the death blow probably to this team. Irrationally, I still think it's the Mavs for me, just because of what happened last year. We've seen the ups and downs versus that team. If Luka and Kyrie can figure it out on any given night, they're a very tough duo to go against. So I think probably irrationally so, it's the Mavs right now. I think the Suns are a better team. They have the better talent right now, but after what happened last year, it's just not a group I'd be real excited to see, especially if it's like a first-round matchup. I could do without that.
I totally get that, because Luka has, let's be honest, he's owned the Suns since that playoff matchup last year. But at the same time, like, as deadly as him and Kyrie can be, two of the underrated Suns killers in those matchups, Dorian Finney-Smith and Spencer Dinwiddie, are no longer there. They were the 24th ranked defense before they traded for Kyrie, getting rid of their best defender in DFS and replacing that with Kyrie in the starting lineup. That's not going to go well for them. I think the Mavs are a bad matchup just because of all the PTSD from last year. But I do think, like, for me, it's still, someone in the chat brought it up, like, it's still the Nuggets in terms of the team that the Suns might want to be the most worried about. Not because they don't match up well. I think DA is one of the few guys in the league that can limit Nikola Jokic a little bit. But they do have the most continuity and cohesion. They are a deeper team. And they've been more or less the same all season long. I think the Suns can pick on MPJ defensively, and I don't know if Jamal Murray or MPJ can stay healthy through a whole playoff run, but that is the team that I feel like is the best in the West aside from the Suns. So, yeah.
If Chris Paul is a cone, then the Dallas Mavericks are a turnstile. because there's no way they're stopping anybody on the Suns. That's why I get the PTSD from last year, but I feel like they're so far removed from that. I don't even care about them. But the Nuggets are an interesting team. And I will say this about the Nuggets, that they are very good in the regular season. And that's about it. Like, they haven't done anything since they made that run. I believe it was the Western Conference Finals in the bubble, which is like, okay, cool. You had 3 months off before the bubble, whatever.
And they had to overcome 2 3-1 deficits to get there.
I'm just, again, with any team, I'm never going to be a believer until you actually do it in the playoffs. And the Nuggets have not done that. And they've had injuries. Yes, I know Jamal Murray, blah, 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 whatever. But they're just going to have to prove it that when it gets really, really like, hey, it's time to buck up and you got to grind these games down. I just don't know if they're going to have it. Yeah,
I look at that Nuggets team, and I know this is going to get clipped and sent to our friends to the north. I do not fear the Nuggets in the least.
I have that same feeling. Like, I can't really explain it to you, but my gut is telling me it's a non-issue.
Okay, Jamal and Booker, I take Book every time, right? You could say MPJ or Aaron Gordon. I'm taking KD every time, right? Jokic wins over DA, but DA plays some of his best basketball on both ends of the court when he goes head to head with Jokic. Chris Paul is better than any of the remaining guys on that roster. I like the Suns bench. Like, I just, to me, again, the Nuggets, like Saul's saying, haven't proven in the playoffs, and they feel a lot like the Suns, who were in the 1 seed last year, where very, very good at executing in the regular season, but there will likely be pitfalls come the playoffs.
Like, can you? Here's the thing for me: if the Nuggies run into the Pels, like, that's a team that I would not want to face if I'm the Denver Nuggets, because that is a tough matchup for them. And like, listen, I'm not disrespecting Jokic. He's a 2-time MVP. He might even be a 3-time MVP. He's most likely to be a 3-time MVP. He's got game out of this world. He's one of the most cerebral basketball players we've seen at the center position ever. I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm strictly saying, until I see it in the playoffs, I'm not going to believe it. And that's based off of exactly what my guy said over here about the Suns doing kind of the same thing. It's the same kind of vibe as last year was, where like there was some things that you wanted to point to and be like, is this for real? And then it wasn't. And it fell apart. And until they get smacked in the mouth and I see how they respond, I'm just not going to believe it.
Well, and they have the injury issues too, which was a big thing that came up and bit the Suns in the ass. I agree with you on Jokic. Like, I think Jokic and KD are on a similar level there, but then the rest, I take the Suns in every kind of matchup from there.
Yeah, I mean, it will be a matchup that puts their defense to the test. The Nuggets are the number 1 offense in the NBA. They do have that continuity on their side, and obviously, Jokic averaging a triple-double doesn't hurt. The Nuggets are still my pick, but I do think they match up with...
I don't think it'll be a cakewalk by any means.
No, and I do think they...
Suns in 4.
I think the Suns...
I'm kidding.
Not those words. But I do think the Suns match up well just in terms of the way that DA has been able to battle, but you are reliant on him being able to try and slow Jokic to some degree, and that's not a guarantee because Jokic is going to have his games where he just goes off because he's that good.
I'm going to go bold prediction. From the point that KD takes the court,
I don't know if I like this
till the end of the regular season, I think the Suns' offense will be neck and neck with the Nuggets' offense. I think they got enough firepower and enough to really make it interesting on the offensive end. I think defensive end is where something like that would be decided. Can either of these teams do something to significantly slow down the offense of the other team? Because both are built as offensive juggernauts.
Yeah, and I will say, they brought it up in the chat, the Nuggets having home court advantage, they're going to win the first seed most likely, because they completely fall apart. They're 27-4 at home, 14-14 on the road.
Couldn't you just picture, like, I just hate to say this out loud because I'm going to get shit on. But couldn't you just see it? Like, I could almost envision it where, like, the stupid Lakers find their way into, like, the 10th seed, the play-in, they somehow win, and they're the 8th seed, and they got to face the Nuggets, and they end up beating the Nuggets in a 7-game series. Like, you could see that happening.
I cannot. I cannot see that happening.
Well, I think we're going to get into this, right, in terms of that play-in window and who could be scary. But for me, that Lakers team is on that list. I know they're not in the title conversation, but it's not a team I want to wake up going, oh, shit, that's your first-round matchup.
No, give me the Lakers all day. I want to just absolutely end their world every single year. If we can be the ones to eliminate them, fuck yeah.
Keep the streak going.
Let's
they
go.
Still haven't lost to the Lakers since Andre Drummond's little meme moment with LeBron in the playoffs. But
I think a sneaky, tough team would be the Clippers still. Like, they've got solid pieces. It's just a matter of health and rest, I suppose, but I would assume they wouldn't do that in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's my assumption. We did get a super chat from Bobby. Bobby, thank you so much for your super chat. Said, hi, Lindsay. Did the Clippers sign Westbrook? Yes, they did. Maybe the Clippers could be a team that could be a problem, especially if Kawhi and PG can stay healthy. And now with Westbrook.
I think they were more of a problem before they added Westbrook, to be honest with you. I don't. This is a team that Kawhi and Paul George are perfectly capable of operating pick and roll, of running an offense, and they continue to gravitate back towards a point guard that doesn't really fit. He's a turnover machine. He's a bad defender. I don't like that fit at all. But I do think the Clippers are a team that you don't want to play because if Paul George and Kawhi are healthy, that's tough enough as it is. They have a ton of depth. They have a lot of interchangeable wing guys, and Tyronn Lue is a really great coach. So they're not even like a sneaky good opponent for me. They are just beneath the Nuggets in terms of teams I would least want to play in the West.
I don't understand what the Clippers did is getting rid of Reggie Jackson and adding Bones Hyland and Russell Westbrook really,
And Eric Gordon.
and Eric Gordon, really that much of an improvement. It just seems like you added a lot of mess to your group to try to spark something that you didn't have in the first half.
Well, again, they kind of resemble a little bit of what the Pels do, where they're physical. They can execute at a pretty high level too. Like they find your weakness and they try to attack you in that regard. And hell, Kawhi didn't have the greatest game at all the other night, and they still won that game fairly easily. You know what I mean? And so I could see them definitely being a problem. Now you throw KD into that mix, and it's a completely different game, obviously, because they're not able to just throw doubles at Booker as soon as he crosses half court every time, because they will get torched.
Yeah.
So that obviously with that dynamic, I don't fear the Clips, but if I had to rank them, I'm kind of like Gerald. They would be my number 2, right behind the Pels for me.
Yeah, it's Kawhi and PG are going to be probably if healthy, probably the best duo you'd face in the Western Conference.
That's because you haven't seen Booker and KD on the court.
Well, you can't face yourself though.
Which you would
You're
hope.
just playing in the mirror. Let's go. I got you.
If you're a Clippers fan, you would hope that the load management and rest throughout the season would allow you to be able to play throughout the entirety of the playoffs.
Otherwise, what are you doing?
Right. Then it's like, okay, what's happening here? Why are we doing this? But we shall see. We did ask the chat who they think the Suns' biggest challenge would be. Emma, do we have those poll results? Let me see.
No,
Yeah,
no, we're just talking about it. We don't need them.
No, I was just hoping if you could pull it up, but that's okay if you can't see it. So we only could give 4 options. So we put Nuggets, Grizzlies, Mavs, and Clippers in there. And Clippers was the first with 50% of the votes. Nuggets second with 27% of the vote.
Okay.
Grizzlies only had 4%. I kind of feel like we're all in agreement that really not as worried about the Grizzlies as I think a lot of teams once were.
The Grizz are losing in the first round to whoever they play.
But they're okay in the West.
Yeah, they're okay in the West. They can go all way out west and go to the Bahamas if they want to.
Okay, so what's the
Or
best
Hawaii.
case scenario?
Not the Bahamas.
You're going
Hawaii.
so west, you go all the way back
You
around.
go all the way
right?
back around.
What's the best case scenario? Who do you want the Suns to play as far as easiest path forward, in your opinion?
I mean, I guess I would take the Lakers in the first round. Or I don't know.
I would take like
the
Timberwolves.
Kings.
Yeah, give me the Kings all day.
For
Let's
sure.
go.
Give me the Kings every freaking second of every freaking day.
I like the Kings.
I do too, but
I'm super stoked for the Kings. I love what they're doing right now. It's great. It's fantastic. I don't know that they have the experience. Like everyone talks about, you need playoff experience. You need championship level guys who've been there, who've done it. I don't think the Kings have that.
no, Kings are a
I think
great
they still have
story.
to, they got to take their lumps first.
Yeah, I would probably say Timberwolves first round would be an ideal matchup,
Yeah.
and then probably like Kings, Grizzlies in whatever order, depending on who ends up where in the seeding.
That
That would be
sexy
ideal.
Mike Conley CP3 point guard matchup.
that would be my ideal kind of path to the finals there.
I wouldn't
Okay.
hate seeing the Warriors either.
Yeah. I mean, we have played really well against the Warriors this year.
I'm just not afraid of them this year. I don't think they clearly.
I do think they deserve a little bit of respect because it's still the Warriors
It
at
is.
the end of the day.
But I'll tell you what, I think I really underestimated the impact that the punch had across the board for that team
Mhm.
Yeah.
because they have not looked right all year long since that point. Obviously, the last time we saw them before that was with them winning the finals. So I just feel like there's something maybe we just don't know. We're not realizing behind the scenes as to why that team is not clicking because they have all the pieces. Steph Curry's been injured, yes, but they have other pieces that could have stepped up and helped keep this team afloat, and they've just fallen apart. So
And they're another year older too, which you know this isn't the young team that we think about that they used to be. So I think that impacts them. I usually like to avoid the defending champion in round one, but I think I could make an exception this year. There's
It
no
worked during the Suns finals, right?
It's true. There's no easy path. I mean, this
No.
Western Conference is brutal. So you're gonna have to go out and be the better team in each of these rounds. You're not. I don't think you're sneaking out of any round this year just because we got lucky in a couple games when we weren't at our best.
Yeah.
I think you got to be at your best every night.
Okay, Eric asked in the chat, do we want an easy playoff run or a competitive run? I mean, obviously, whatever is the best case scenario
If
to
you-
win a championship
If you win
would
a
be
title,
great.
you will not give a shit.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
Whatever the path is to get Larry O'Brien and Phoenix is all that matters.
that was part of the problem of us making it to the finals 2 years ago. It was like it was so. I'm not going to say it was easy, but there wasn't a lot of conflict outside of maybe injury with Chris Paul. That you just felt like they were just like destined to win the NBA finals. Like everything felt like it was just lining up, and then it didn't. And it was just like, oh.
Well, that's what made it hurt even worse because you started to believe once they went up 2-0, is this destiny? Is this finally
Are we
that
getting this
destiny
win?
that we've always heard about? No, it wasn't.
You know, I feel like it's split 50-50 because you want, of course, like an easier path to winning a championship because, like, selfishly, whatever is the easiest route is what we're going to want to select so that we can actually have one. But on the opposite side is you don't want the built-in excuses, right? You kind of want to play the best teams to say that you beat the best and make that storyline even better. Like there's no loopholes. There's no, well, if only we had Jamal Murray or all these injuries or you guys only got to the finals because everyone else sucked around you at the time because of X, Y, and Z. Like you don't want that either because then everyone will point to that forever and ever and ever.
I think the only championship that will forever get pointed at like that is the bubble title because it was such different circumstances. It was so bizarre. But I mean, do you really remember the path that the 1999 San Antonio Spurs took to winning the title or any of
They
these
beat the
teams?
Portland Trailblazers and
They beat the
7 games
Knicks,
on
but
the
like
Memorial Day miracle.
But do you look down on them for anything that happened?
No,
no.
a title's a title.
Yeah,
Who gives a shit?
that's my point.
Oh,
like
yeah.
at some point that kind of fades away and it goes, oh yeah, the Suns won the title and that's all that matters. Like I don't care if it means they got to beat 4 teams that have the worst injuries ever. I don't care if it means they have to go to 7 games in every series and they're all won by 1 point. Whatever it takes to get those 16 wins and put a ring on the finger is all that matters to me.
And it's not like this will even come up anyway, because as much as we can lay out like the non-sexy matchups like Timberwolves, Kings, Grizz, like you're going to have to go through like maybe the defending champs, maybe the Mavs who beat you in Game 7 last year, maybe the Clippers who are still salty about not being healthy in the conference finals a few years ago, maybe the Nuggets who are still salty about the sweep a couple years ago. Like, there's going to be a storyline either way. There's going to be something. Finals runs like that 2021 one that people try to discredit because of injuries are very rare. Yeah. So if they want to get it done, they're going to have to go through some good teams no matter what.
There's one team I do not want to see in a playoff run. The Nets. The
Nets.
Brooklyn Nets.
God,
they have the two guys from the Mavs who destroyed you. You would have to take out Mikal and Cam.
Listen.
Like the storylines and all that distraction for KD as well. Like it would just be a circus. Now they kick the Nets' asses likely, but it would be a freaking circus in the finals.
mean, I'm sorry. People, I know you all love your guys. I get it. They're gone though. And if we saw the Nets, I would want to absolutely destroy them. Like, and so would Book.
Oh, I'd want to.
Would Book.
Yeah.
Everybody
Book
would want
savage
to.
like that.
But that would create so much internal chaos. I don't want to deal with
Internal
it.
for who? Not for me.
I don't want it.
Fuck that. I want a ring. Let's go.
It's more just the crappy
And the
storylines
storylines and all.
no.
Yeah. I don't want that.
Man, the Nets ain't even getting out of the first round, so you ain't got to worry about that.
That's true. But Jock Vaughn did get his extension, so
Good for him.
He's got that.
Okay, who would be the most fun?
The most fun playoff matchup or finals
the
matchup?
most fun, whichever one. Most
For
fun
us-
matchup. You
for
could
us,
you
let's
could
be-
do finals if you want to include East Coast teams. I don't care.
For
Or
us,
Eastern
let's
teams.
be honest. A Nuggets matchup would be unbelievable, just because of our sister company, DNVR, and then it being what will likely be the number one seed. All the history from that finals run. I think a Nuggets series could cause NBA Twitter to melt down, which would be entertaining as all.
Boston for me. I want Boston. I want to see Boston versus the Suns, 7 games, NBA Finals. Like, I feel like that's the redemption tour that the Suns are on right now. Is like to get to where it all started when they lost their first NBA championship opportunity was to the Celtics. Let's run that shit back. Let's take it from the dirty seas and win it.
So beat the Celtics this year, beat the Bulls next year, beat the Bucks.
There you go.
And have your three-peat.
And then KD's done, and he's done his job.
Bulls have a shit ton of work to do. No, I would probably say in the West, the least fun for me to cover would be the Mavericks, but I understand why fans would want that matchup and would love kicking the crap out of them if they were able to do so.
God, could you imagine the feuding on Twitter?
It would be too toxic. I wouldn't
Oh
want
my
any
God.
part of that. But in terms of the league as a whole, like for me, it's the Bucks. Like you get that finals rematch. Only this time you have Kevin Durant versus Giannis, and they gave us one of the best playoff matchups in recent memory a few years ago when KD's foot was on the line. That was a great series that the Nets almost won without James Harden playing for most of it. Jay Crowder's in that. Like that's the matchup I want. And the Bucks are only half a game behind the Celtics, despite how injured Chris Middleton has been all season. So like that's a sneaky good team that could easily win the East. I would love to see that finals rematch.
Yeah, I hope Giannis's hand isn't as bad as it sounds like it could be. I want them. I want them at full strength, and I'd love to see that as well.
I think the Celtics would be a lot of fun if we're talking like more of a final situation. If we're talking prior to, I think the Pelicans would make a really fun series. Like it would be stressful, but I think we would get a lot of really great banter and things of that nature out of the Pelicans and their fan base.
If the NBA is scripted, it's Suns Bucks, right? There are so many storylines. It's a return of that finals before KD versus Giannis, which you brought up. Like if it's scripted, that's where we're headed. I think
We'll see. The chat, a lot of the chat is picking the Mavs. And then, of course, the Bucks. I would feel like those two are the top two that the chat has kind of thrown out as far as what would be the most fun.
I only want to play the Mavs if we sweep the Mavs.
See, that's the biggest thing. Like, if we lose to the Mavs again, there's no coming back from that.
No.
We will forever have to deal with that storyline, which is why there's a part of me that's like, I don't want to see them at all.
Yeah, I don't think this Suns team would lose to that Mavs team, but then again, I thought
didn't
that
think
last
last
year.
year's Suns team would have lost to that Mavs team either.
Yeah, we thought they were on the road to a sweep last year too. Like,
I don't know. The only reason why I say the Pelicans, of course, is because we got so much drama off the court, kind of on the court too, sort of like a whole package of it. And it got brought up again recently. on the Old Man in the Three podcast with JJ Redick, Jose Alvarado mentioned us specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a fan base that hates you and maybe you hate as well?
Yeah, it's a Phoenix. I never really experienced, that hate and boo crowd thing until I went to Phoenix. I'm a role player, and they're not gonna care. As soon as I touched the ball, it was boo. I said, but I thought it was gonna stop, and it didn't stop. It kept going. So I was like, whatever.
I would love a rematch in the playoffs of last year's Phoenix, New Orleans series.
You will always be booed when you touch the ball, Jose.
If there's one thing that Suns fans are, it's petty.
Petty as shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do not forget that crap, Jose.
Yeah, I want no part of that rematch. That's more of a football game than a basketball matchup. I want no part of it.
I don't know. I think it could be kind of fun.
Nope.
I feel
Not
like
fun in the right way.
Not against the team that was number one in the West for most of the season until they started getting hurt.
that's fair. That is fair. But
I wouldn't mind it.
storyline wise, I don't know that you would write almost a better one because at least with the Pelicans, a lot of it is still playful. Right? Like I think like the FJ Crowder thing turned into something really playful on our side of things. Like,
did you miss what they did to our reviews? It ain't friendly.
Where this playful thing came from. As soon as she said it, I was like, what?
I know on our side of things, it felt playful.
Oh, no.
And maybe it was just because we were winning.
Because we won the series.
But then as soon as they beat us this year, it was just all up in the chat and people going at each other's throats.
I'm saying from our side of things.
No, I hate them too.
I feel like it's more. I feel like Suns Twitter has more fun with Pelicans fans than Mavs fans. Mavs fans, I feel like get under our skin.
Well, yeah, because they won.
Let's be frank. I think the only group we have fun with is Nuggets fans because we're in their heads. Everybody else, it could be a battle. Look, you could.
I don't know. I thought it was funny.
Could you imagine this playoff run? Pels, Mavs, Nuggets, Bucks. If that was the path you had to go through.
The anxiety in my mentions. I can't.
Dear
Look,
Lord.
we had a whole fucking kerfuffle over a dunk in garbage time against the Pelicans. Like that was a thing that became toxic.
Do you not remember
if we face them again, it's over.
Do you not remember Espo like trying to solicit some like honest advice and those dudes just losing their ever-loving mind?
Well, that's because nobody wants advice when you just lost.
Yeah, it did come
Read
off.
the room, Espo.
It did come off.
Well, look where they're at now. They should have heeded that advice. Because you never know when it comes to an end.
My whole point was injuries can happen at any time.
And then they did.
Yeah, it kind of had a holier than thou feel to it, though.
That's the only way I know how to be, Gerald.
Yeah, but I'm telling you,
what do you want?
That's why they didn't like it.
Gerald, let me give you some advice.
What?
I only know how to be that way.
What good is a soapbox if you can't even fucking use it?
Yeah,
Jesus.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I do have very selective memory. I pick and choose what sticks and what goes.
Yeah, clearly.
And typically I lean towards the more positive side of things. I remember that Pelicans series and all the chaos around it being more fun than the Mavs and all the others. Like
every team we have played in the playoffs are now sworn enemies of us. Like Nuggets for the sweep, Lakers because we've kicked their ass ever since, Clippers because we were injured and we would have won, Bucks because of the finals. Like every single team we played in the playoffs is now our mortal enemy. So
we're
we could
not
play
liked.
We could play the fucking Thunder and the Kings, and we would find a way. It would get toxic.
You love the Kings now, but play them in the first round and sweep them.
Right.
And guess what? They're coming for your
They're
throat.
gonna like that beam where the sun don't shine.
I'm
all right?
sorry, are you saying that we're the problem?
Yes. The playoffs and social media and us, they're all the problems.
Listen,
We are the problem.
Every fan base is the problem. It's not just
No,
us.
but it seems like we're worse.
Okay,
because we're in it.
It's every fan
But
base.
if I was a Pelicans
like
fan and I was looking at
we're
other Pelicans fans, I was like, oh yeah, you guys are all assholes too. Just like me.
Vince Morata should request that they play "It's Me, Hi, I'm the Problem, It's Me" for the intros because the
Oh
Suns,
my God.
we are the problem, especially the fans. But we love it because We went through 10 years of shit, and this is time for us to enjoy it.
Look at Aaron Lee already. Fuck the beam.
Fight the beam. Yeah, let's go.
Oh my God. Eric said Suns out here starting shit with all the teams. We toxic AF. I honestly think we are a little bit.
Yeah. But let's think about this. We were in a toxic relationship for 18 years with an owner who literally, I think, despised us as a fan base. So now we're acting out because we have some success.
We don't know how to act anymore. Oh my God.
We've been hurt too much.
We got people that keep receipts and will go onto the other team's Twitter to find shit. Yep. And then as soon as it hits our timelines, it gets reshared. We are, we're part of the problem.
Oh, yeah.
Well, looking forward to it. Yeah. Looking forward to it. We did get another super chat from Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. Said, is Katie playing on Friday? God bless everyone. Smiley face, heart emoji. I think yes. We haven't gotten an official word yet, but I would be shocked if he didn't, considering ESPN picked up that game. It got moved back an hour. I think Campaign and Katie might both play on Friday.
We're going to do a watch along. Like, we're hoping it. Otherwise, this is going to be anticlimactic playing the Thunder on a Friday. Yeah, I really hope Katie's playing.
How dare you minimize Campaign's return against his former team? I would guess so. Yeah. We haven't gotten official confirmation. Every time Katie's been asked about it, he said, we're going to go with what the training staff wants. We're getting close, hopefully soon. But I would assume so, just given the way that they switched the game.
Yeah. So that's that. All right, guys. So I'm really excited about this. I'm also terrified. In honor of All-Star Weekend, we are bringing back Ad Read Roulette, but we are doing it competition style. So each of us are doing an ad in a voice that we don't know of, and then you guys get to vote on who did the best.
Okay.
Shit, I guess
and
I forgot this was a competition.
This is a competition.
Oh, that's shitty.
So you guys get to vote in the chat. We're going to put the poll up after we're all done. And you guys get to let us know. If you're unfamiliar with Ad Read Roulette, basically how it works is we have this little wheel that spins. It tells us who's reading, and then it tells us what voice we're reading the ad in. So
good luck.
Yep. Here we go. I'm already nervous.
Who's up first then?
Whoever the wheel hits.
Oh, it's your choice.
Emma spins the wheel.
Okay.
All right.
The Wheel of Destiny. Fuck.
All
yes,
right.
Saul. Yes.
All right. What's the voice Saul's going to be doing?
Let's see.
I can't read
I can't
that.
read it either. What does it say, Emma?
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan
Freeman. Okay.
As read or just Morgan Freeman?
And then
you're reading Bad Birdie. Okay. Saul as Morgan Freeman. What you got, Saul?
All right. Okay. I was just a little boy from Ohio, and I didn't know how to play the game of golf. But one day, my friend came up to me and said, "Hey, put this on. You'll feel like a different person." Ever since that day, I've been wearing my Bad Birdie merch. And you can too. I just wish that I would have seen my friend again out there on the golf course, because I miss my friend. You don't have to miss your friend, but you could also participate by purchasing your stuff from badbirdiegolf.com. Save yourself up to 15% by using promo code. This is wrong, Max.
What's the promo code?
Morgan got angry.
By using promo code PHNXBB15 for 15% off at badbirdie.com.
Good job, Saul.
Wow. That was great.
That goes in the Hall of Fame of ad reads.
That was
spectacular.
Oh, my goodness gracious. All right. Who's next? Oh, boy. Next up is Espo.
Right, what's the voice I gotta do?
And Espo is reading
Nookie Monster.
Please no
Oh my
Nookie
God.
Monster.
Nookie Monster.
Did we put that
Nookie
on there?
Monster.
I hope not. Thank
Ooh,
God.
SNL intro.
Oh,
Okay.
thank God. Oh,
Okay.
my God.
No
like
Nookie
the Live from New York guy?
Yep.
Oh, my God.
Live from PHNX, it's Underdog Fantasy. Underdog with your... Damn it. God damn, I'm out already. Let's re-rack that. Live from PHNX, it's Underdog Fantasy with your host, Over Under. Underdog Fantasy is the best single game fantasy that you could. This is terrible.
Is there a boo noise?
Yeah, boo! Boo!
Oh,
Can I just bring Nookie Monster or Long Bobby back for this?
No.
You gotta do it. You got this, Espo. You got this.
He's gonna
Can I do Morgan Freeman?
He's gonna
No.
Underdog Fantasy. Your personal experience using the app is not the line I'm supposed to read. This is tragic.
Oh my
Look,
God.
as
Just
an
get to the
announcer, I
disclaimer
want to
and
use
end it.
the daily fantasy app games. I hate season-long fantasy, and you will too. So you want to use fantasy that plays daily. I got nothing here. Underdog is the best.
If I was a hot dog, I'd eat myself.
Would you like me to do it as Harry Carey?
I taste so good in relish and mustard.
Do you like over under? Do you like higher lower? That's what I like. Higher lower. You get a starting pitcher and you pick higher or lower on the pitch count. And it is fantastic.
Lay on the plane, Espo.
You like Underdog Fantasy. You're going to use that code PHNX, and you're going to be fantastic. Whether you're a hot dog and you want to eat yourself, or you're a human that wants to play some fantasy sports. Just remember, 21 or older is what you got to be.
No, you don't. Do you? For Underdog, you have to be 21 or
Yeah.
older?
It's money. It's
I
betting.
thought it was 18. Wouldn't
It's
it be
betting.
18?
No, it's sports betting.
As long as you're an adult?
I
It's
know.
sports betting.
I know, Lindsay.
I've never
Oh
had
my
that in the
gosh.
disclaimer
Don't question
before.
Harry Carey / the
There's
SNL voice guy.
There's a reason why we ended Ad Read Roulette is because the guy that picked the
Oh my
voices
God.
didn't think about how you would have to do said voice down the road. So I got something. I can't even remember what it was.
I have
but I
no
was like,
idea.
how do you even do this?
Yeah.
And nobody else could figure it out either. So we just didn't do it anymore.
Oh my God.
That is tough.
Wow.
Okay.
Please
Okay.
give me
This is
Gerald
not
Surfer
great.
voice back.
Whoever goes next is going to look really good.
I think so.
Your Morgan Freeman threw me off. You brought your A game. I had nothing.
Yeah, but I did go from Morgan Freeman to like Michael Jackson.
Oh man.
That would have been cool.
What does that mean?
Gerald.
Okay.
Oh man, that means I have to go last.
What are we doing
Maybe it's
here?
Shaq.
Struggle by.
What do we got?
What is
Jerry?
it? Mr. Mac. Okay. We got some South Park here.
Oh,
This could be great.
Okay.
okay.
Overpaying for tickets is bad. Okay. and hidden costs, those are bad too. Okay. So if you want to support your team, okay, and you don't want to pay extra fees, okay, you need to download the Game Time app. Just a few months ago, I got tickets to a Christmas concert, and it was beautiful. They sang my favorite song, "Hark, Hear the Bells, Sweet Silver Bells, all seem to say ding dong." Okay. Procrastination is bad, but on Game
my
Time,
God.
okay, save up to 60% on tickets when you buy tickets last minute. The best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link in the description. Okay.
Yeah. That was fantastic, Gerald.
Gerald, that was amazing.
That was awesome.
Oh man,
That
I
was
wish you would have
awesome.
gone last. I don't want to follow that.
Drugs are bad. Okay.
Okay.
All right, what is it, Emma? It's officially going to end up being me. Oh my God. This is terrible. Why couldn't I have followed Espo? Because I feel like you can't fail after that one. Sorry, Espo.
Screw you, Lindsay.
Who is
What is
it?
that?
Towley.
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 Oh, Towley.
Oh, more
Another
South
South
Another
Park.
South Park. All right. What's Tally? I don't remember that one.
This is so, I'm really nervous.
Just think about what I did and you'll be fine, all right?
All right. Hold on. Oh shit. It just, my ad went away. Okay, got it. Okay. All right. Hi, everybody. Want to get high?
No!
When I take OGs, it's like I'm walking on sunshine. It's official. OGs' new strawberries and cream Happy Balance gummies are alive. They're on the shelf.
Is Tally country?
As always. Apparently mine is.
I like to imagine that this is how the character on the book cover that Lindsay was on.
You can find them at at your local dispensary by checking out ogsbrands.com. But you must be 21 or older to enjoy. And remember, when getting high, sweat can get in your eyes, so don't forget to bring a towel.
Oh my God.
That was great.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
That was
Jason,
fantastic.
oh no, not the Patrick Mahomes.
No.
Oh my God. That was fantastic.
That was
How
good.
embarrassing.
That was
Oh my
good.
God. All right. Well, Emma put the poll in the chat. So we'll sit here for 30
I
seconds.
think I
and let you
lost.
guys vote.
Oh, wow.
My God. I don't know, Gerald. Yours was solid.
His was pretty solid.
Absolutely solid.
Look, I'm sorry, but Saul's got to win this.
Wow.
That was
Yeah.
spectacular and spot on. Like,
It was spot on.
It's hard to slow down because you can't. You can't.
and you
speed
breaking to
for
yell
you.
at Max was
Oh my
spectacular as
God.
well.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
man.
killed me.
Oh,
It's hot in here now.
It's so hot in here. Also, it doesn't help that like I'm still got that weird cough going on from last week's sick days. It's lingering, and I feel like it's not working. But we did get a super chat, so we'll read the super chat while we're waiting for everyone in the chat to vote in the poll. This one's from Laking. Laking, thank you. Celtics fan here. Love y'all, but the last two All-Star MVPs became final MVPs. It's Jason Tatum and the Celtics' time to win it. Remember this.
you can
know
have
that.
you can have an MVP of the finals from a losing team if he's spectacular enough.
Maybe.
Right?
You know, I will shout out Laking. If you're a Celtics fan, like you're always in our chat and you're always super nice. So
Yeah.
like, thanks
Yeah.
for being here with us.
Yeah.
For sure. For
Like
sure.
I think that maybe the Suns are your second favorite team, so I'll take that.
We hope you have that same kind of energy in June.
Yes.
I hope we have that kind of energy in June.
Same. We do.
We may be talking about the Celtics and somebody else in June.
Oh my goodness gracious. But thank you for your super chat. We appreciate it. All right, Emma, I think we should close the poll. We only gave you guys a short amount of time. All right, Gerald wins this one, no surprise. 54% of the votes. I came in second with 27, Saul third with 11, and Espo closed it out with 6%.
Yes, I
Good
got
job, Espo.
60% of you.
Good job.
Woo!
Espo.
What is that, like one person pity vote? I'll take it. I will take it.
Gosh. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our ad read roulette. Eli said we should bring him back permanently. I don't think we are that good.
Oh, God,
I mean,
no.
clearly, like today we did okay. We did okay.
3 of you did okay. I crashed.
I was going to say except for Espo, but I don't want to throw you under the
I
bus that
crashed
bad.
and
But it's really hard, and it makes us all at least me. It makes me really nervous.
burned. Now it's going to make me nervous after whatever the hell that was I just did.
But we
Holy
will bring
hell.
it back from time to time. We promise. It's something that will be at least permanent in the rotation. We'll absolutely do that. Thank you guys again for joining us today. We appreciate you as always. We'll be back tomorrow with another show at 3 p.m. So plan to come hang out with us then. And of course, if you can't join us live, you can always find us wherever you listen to your podcasts. Just make sure you rate, review, and subscribe because it helps us out a lot. Until next time, you can follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_Suns. You can follow me at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Saul at Saul_Bookman. You can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourget. And of course, you can follow Espo at Espo. Espo, take us home.
Live from New York, it's not Espo doing impressions. Ahoy, hoy.
Tell the Phoenix Metro, Megas in control and he ain't never gonna let go. PHNX though, Lindsay, Gerald, Espo. Saw pass the ball, we here to turn up the tempo. Got to understand me, I'll always rep the family. Rally in the